Welcome to the Curious Conversation Collaborative, a community for purpose-seeking professionals, entrepreneurs, and changemakers.
Listen to inspiring conversations with your hosts, inner leadership mentor Tessa Van Kaken and business wealth coach Karen Ravel.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. And hi, everyone. So for those who have been following us the last few weeks, we have been talking about decluttering, which was our theme for this month, February. And today is the last theme or the last aspect of decluttering that we will be talking about. And today we'll be talking about decluttering relationships. Which I think sounds very interesting. And just straight off, I would like to say to people that decluttering your relationship does not mean necessarily getting rid of relationships. Can do, but that's not necessarily what we mean with decluttering relationships.
Okay, so do you want to expand on that?
Yes, so I think, because yeah, I know. When you say declutter relationships, you might straight away think like, now, here's the thing. I do think if you have any toxic relationships in your life, I do think it's incredibly important to really reflect on that and first start with yourself. We've talked about decluttering your mind, so I think with this again as well, it's really important to really tune in with yourself, with your own feelings, your own thoughts, to see what it means to you. Because I think when there is a relationship that's toxic, decluttering can mean really cleaning that up also by maybe talking to the person or say taking certain steps to improve the relationship. Or if you really feel that this is a relationship that's really harming you in any way, or that's restricting your life or your work, or in any other way is causing you clutter, if you like, then yeah, by all means, like there might be a time where you need to make that decision to actually cut that loose and to remove that relationship from your life if you want. But I think very often what happens for people is as well that, like, again, you can improve the relationship. And I think in other ways, it's also about prioritization. So it doesn't have to be necessarily a toxic relationship. We can also have that relationships, are just not working the way you want them, or it's causing you stress because maybe even, you have 20 social appointments in a week and you're noticing that there's just too much going on. So it might also be, again, around prioritization. We've talked about this before with like work life, where we said we want to do everything, FOMO, fear of missing out. So you're saying yes to every single party and every single time that someone says, let's meet for coffee. So I think it can also be around, okay, how are the relationships in my life going? Mm-hmm. And what do I need? And is it time to do a little bit of decluttering?
Yeah. But I think also, Tessa, the thing I would like to point out is that if you have got a toxic relationship somewhere, whether that's family, friends, business partners, teammates, or, in your team, colleagues, whatever, I think decluttering relationships is one of the hardest things to do.
Oh, so certainly.
It's we've talked about all those other things, and there are strategies that you can take, but there are people around us that can bring us down and really drain our energy, and sometimes they can actually put us down, and yeah. Quite honestly, we will take a lot from other people generally. And especially if they're people that we've cared about a lot, up until now, if it might suddenly change or something like that. Or again, we talked about your personality and whether you're that type of person who wants to please everyone. But I think, the people, hopefully, that are listening to this, we've talked about being purpose seeking and therefore purpose driven. And I think if you're here to make an impact in the world, you've really got to show up as the best version of you. Yeah. And allowing these people to get inside your head and inside your space and your energy, and impact on you and the way that you're showing up in the world, really, you don't really need them in your life. And like I say, although it's a tough decision to cut someone off, or to say, you know, I'm not going to hang out with these people anymore, I think you've got to look at it in a bigger way, you know, in like, why am I here, and how important is that, and are these people, or is this person affecting me that I can't show up as who I am, and I'm okay as I am, and I'm here to be me and bring my gifts out to the world and make the impact I'm here to make. And these people are, if they're affecting how I do that, then really we shouldn't have them in our life. And like I say, I know it can be tough sometimes, but I think we, you know, as purpose-driven people, we need to really step up and own that, and put that at that needs to be the priority, you know, that we're showing up to do what we're here to do.
Yeah, and I agree and I disagree.
Okay.
Ooh, I don't think we have had that many disagreements yet. No, no, sorry. Okay. First of all, I do want to say always to people, because I think we need to be absolutely clear. We're not talking here about, for instance, abusive relationship or anything like that, because I don't think it's a good idea to go into that. I think if you have any type of relationship where there's any form of physical or mental or psychological harm, that's not what we're talking here about. And I think if you are in such a situation, you know, you need to get help around that. And that's not what this podcast is for. So I just wanted to mention that, because I think sometimes, you know, there might be a blurry situation. I think when we say toxic, we mean that one way or another, it's limiting you in, as you said, in the being purposeful, in the being meaningful. And this might be just by that someone is a little bit negative, or that it's not causing you, but we're not talking about abuse here. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just to say, because I think that's a whole different discussion, and it's just not really for here. So the other thing, I do agree. I think sometimes we take a lot from other people, but also I think there is an element, and I've experienced in this, I've been really conscious of this in the last few years, that I also had to be really, really honest with myself. That we talked about this a little bit also the last time with the work-life balance, or the clutter, that it's very hard to actually also express your boundaries to people. So sometimes when someone is doing something that we think is not right for us, we can tend to go, okay, I don't want to hang out with that person, or that person is blocking me from being purposeful. But also, we have never actually said to that person, or actually said, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah,
this is not working for me. And I think sometimes we have to be careful that we don't go, oh, well, this person is doing things that is not allowing me to be purposeful, or I can't be myself. That we say, okay, but can I not be myself really only because of what that person is doing? Or is there also an element where I need to say, hey, but have I actually told that person that? What have I done to see if it was possible to change the relationship? And I think it's very important. So, and that's why I said, I want to straight away say, we're not talking about abuse or anything like that, but just for things where, because sometimes the cutting off is the easy way out because we don't want to deal with it.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So it's about us stepping into our own leadership, really,
yes,
and you know, taking responsibility for everything.
Yeah, and I think that is so important, right? So for me, it's been really about take 100% responsibility for your actions, your things. Don't say like, oh, well, that person should do this, or this should happen here, or I don't want to hang out with them because they're not really nice to me. But to first say, hey, look, it really bothered me if you talk to me that way.
Yeah.
I find if you always want to do these things, whereas I say I want to do these things, it feels to me that you're not really respecting what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's so scary to say that we just say, oh, I don't like that person, I'm just not hanging out with them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that to me, that's why I said I agree and I don't agree. So I think it is important, be honest to yourself, take responsibility, be that leader, be purpose driven, be a change maker. And also one other element I want to say is like, sometimes this goes into that we say, oh, I only hang out with positive, purpose seeking people. Now here's the thing. I remember after really that breakup, I was definitely not positive. I had lost all sight of purpose and all these things. If my friends then, or the people around me had said, oh, sorry, you're being very negative. You're not a very uplifting, purposeful person to hang out with, so I'm not going to be with you. That wouldn't have been very kind either. So I think, again, there's that balance. There's a difference between sometimes as a leader, as a purpose-seeking professional or entrepreneur, as a change maker, sometimes we need to also look at that some people might be really struggling and they might be actually be able to help them, but it can't be at the cost of yourself. But I think it's a much more balanced way of looking at it than that sometimes it's also really, really useful to see it as a learning, that maybe those people that we find difficult to be with can also really help us to actually become a better person for ourselves, but also can be for us actually that tool that allows us to actually be that change maker that we want to be, that actually can contribute to someone, maybe get some insights that otherwise they wouldn't have gotten if we had just walked away.
Absolutely. And I think that can open us up to another theme for another time, all about leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for this episode and also for this month's theme on decluttering. We hope you've enjoyed it and got some insights from it all. And we'll be moving on to a different theme for next month.
We'll have a different team in March, and we're keeping it a secret for now. Now, here's the thing. You may have been listening to us or viewing us. So for whoever is just listening to our podcast here, we just want to mention, if you didn't already know, some of you already might be following us there, that we are also on Facebook. You can find us under the Curious Conversation Collaborative. And on the Facebook page, what is also new, which will be the first time in the first week of March, on the 4th of March to be exact, at 9:30 GMT or UK time and 10:30 CET, European Central Time. We will do a live. It's like a Q&A. So if you have been watching or listening to our episodes on decluttering, please join us there. Or if you haven't, you can also join us with any questions you have or any suggestions. We'll be talking live, so we will be interacting with you then. And we will do this each time in the week after the last episode of our team, of our monthly team. And we would love you to join us there as well. So, and if you are following us on Facebook, that's also where we will announce news and announcements around different teams that come up. So you will get more information if you follow us there as well.
Okay, so I think that's it for this week.
Cool. Right. We hope to see you in the live, and we hope that you will be listening to our next team next month.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Tessa. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Gary. See you next time. Talk to you next time.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Did you enjoy this episode? Let us know in the comments or send us a message. You can find out more about us at KarenRavel.com
and TessaVanKeken.com. Tune in again next week for another curious conversation.